Today I'm going to be talking about abalone shell and how it's used in jewellery. So these are some of the pieces that I'm going to show you, and all of these came from the same place. So these were purchased from eBay. One job lot, everything came together. You probably noticed that there's some more modern pieces and then some older pieces as well. So we've got a nice mixture of earrings, got brooches, necklaces, bracelets. There we go. Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Emma. I buy, sell, repair and upcycle vintage jewellery into new jewellery designs, and today we're going to be talking about abalone shell and how that's used in jewellery and has been used for many years. So last year I purchased a whole lot of jewellery from a seller on eBay. She was selling every single piece was set with abalone shells. So there was necklaces, bracelets, earrings, brooches, and yeah, I purchased the whole lot. And I'm always attracted to anything that's got kind of natural materials in it, and yeah, this caught my eye, and then it kind of made me think I don't really know too much about abalone shells, so I did a little bit of research, and then I thought I would share that with you. So let's get started. So abalone shell is, I'll pop an image up here, but it's like an ear-shaped shell, and it's from a mollusk, an edible mollusk. So in the UK we call them ormers, and it's really funny. I was watching TV yesterday with my partner, and the hairy bikers were cooking up some ormers. So they'd actually gone and they were watching a lady take them out of the shells and clean them and cook them up. They didn't look like something I would want to eat, but I'm sure they're delicious. So what happens is, inside the shell, the mollusk has like a protective layer that grows, and that's called nacre, and that's what has the iridescence inside it. So it's made up of lots of different minerals. So it has different names. In the UK we tend to call it abalone shell, and the creature inside is an ormer, whereas in New Zealand they call it a poa shell, and some people like to refer to it as a sea opal because of the colours tend to remind them of the ocean. One thing to point out is that it's not the same as mother of pearl. So they are very similar. So mother of pearl is the white luster layer that you would find in a shell, and mother of pearl usually comes from oyster shells, and it's the again, it's the nacre, the protective layer within the shell that gives the pearls its iridescence. So if I can just kind of give you a little flash there. So the mother of pearl tends to be white, like a kind of a creamy white colour with a luster finish. And then the abalone has more of a, looks like the ocean, has lots of blues and greens and purples in there. There we go. I think it's absolutely stunning. I did actually find it in my crystal healer book. So in here they've got a bit of A to Z of all the different crystals and things. So abalone shell is in here, and it's down in the rainbow section because of the colours that's in it. So what does it say? So it's found in oceans around most continents of Australia, Japan, New Zealand, USA, Vietnam, lots of different places in kind of warmer waters. And it has some healing properties as well. So it's been used for hundreds of thousands of years, particularly in adornments and jewellery and that kind of thing. But it's said to have some healing properties. It's said to kind of reflect things like spiritual journeys, going inwards, self-development, that kind of thing. It's said to be good for love, relaxation, letting go of emotions, and can facilitate connections with ancestors as well, which is awesome. I used to have an abalone shell, and a lot of people use them for their smudge sticks. So that's one of my smudge sticks. This is sage, and if you're not familiar with smudging, you just light the tip of this and blow it out, and then it smokes, and then you can use the smoke to kind of cleanse your space, cleanse your body, and then people pop that in their shell and it kind of holds it for them whilst the smoke comes out. So abalone shell tends to be layered into jewellery, so they tend to cut sections, polish it up and kind of create designs and patterns with it. So I'll show you these earrings as an example. So these ones, if I hold that up so that you can see, so these have got like a moon and star design, and you can see there. So this has got both mother of pearl and abalone in there. So they've used the abalone to create the moon sections and then the mother of pearl to create the star in the centre. And they've cut all these sections and then fitted them all together like a little jigsaw puzzle. And it was used in the Art Deco period to create geometric designs in jewellery as well. If you watched my other videos, I think it was the Morley trip. When we went into one of the antique centres, there was a table, an antique table that was all set with mother of pearl and abalone shell. It was absolutely stunning. If you haven't seen that, please go check that out. But yeah, I think for me, it always reminds me of the ocean. So particularly because of the colours, but then also it's got like lines in there and almost looks like a pool inside. So this one's got kind of an Art Deco feel to it. So that one there is a pendant, nice geometric, and that's got lovely deep blues inside, blues and greens. There we go. So that's a nice slice that's been polished up and then just set in there to create that pendant. It is beautiful material. I did some research as well because I wanted to know whether it was sustainable. So I didn't know whether the shells themselves were kind of dredged up from the sea or whether they were a byproduct. And from some of the places that I kind of found information, so there was a couple of jewellery websites where they made all of their jewellery using abalone shell, and the way that they do it to make sure that it's sustainable is they use farmed abalone shells. So there are farms where they grow them for the mollusk inside, for the meat, to be able to sell that on, and then the shells become a byproduct, so waste product that they don't need, and then jewellery companies purchase those shells and they can use that in their jewellery design. So I thought that was quite interesting. So the pieces I have today are not super old. I think the majority of these are probably kind of 90s onwards, maybe 80s, 90s. And I particularly remember them because they were popular as kind of holiday souvenirs. So places would sell them in the souvenir shops at the seasides as a kind of typical holiday souvenir gift. I think it's because of the connection with the shells and the beach and the ocean. And I particularly remember these kind of things. So these are bracelets. That one's got a four-leaf clover design. You probably just see some of the flashes of colour, but this one's actually got some oranges and pinks in there. A little bit of yellow. Absolutely stunning. And because it's natural material as well, each and every one of these little tiny panels will be different, which I think is awesome. I've got one here that's got love hearts. I'll hold that up. Really pretty. And then these were very popular. I remember seeing lots of these little dolphins. So it's got a little row of dolphins kind of swimming along. This was one of the kind of really good bargains that I got on eBay. I tend to watch lots of lots and then see what they go for. Sunday evening is always the busiest evening for eBay lots, so I don't tend to buy very much on a Sunday. I look for lots that have been listed and kind of finish in the week or finish during the daytime when there's not going to be as many people watching them, and I might get things, you know, for a bargain. These are cute. These are little earrings with a little robin on. How sweet are they? So these have got a mixture. These have got the white on the belly, that'll be mother of pearl. You've got your abalone shell here, and then there's a bit of red enamel there as well. Gorgeous. Such a lovely material. Stunning. Now these are slightly more modern and they're absolutely gorgeous. This was one of the first things that I spotted when I saw the listing. I was like, oh, I might have to add these to my own collection. They just make me smile when I look at them. Look at those. They're absolutely huge. So they're most definitely a statement pair of earrings. There we go. Let's pop one in and see what that looks like. Oh, wrong ear. So that'll go on that one. So these are for pierced ears. Ooh. So if I kind of come up close and turn my head, you should be able to see that. Absolutely massive statement earrings. They're gorgeous. I think these would look really, really nice with a matching necklace and bracelet, and then maybe worn with something really simple. Like if you've got yourself a nice tan, if you've been on holiday, if you've got white, maybe. This colour would really pop and stand out. But they're absolutely stunning. I was really pleased with those. And the whole lot, I managed to get the whole lot for £13.05, which is super cheap, and then a little bit of postage on top, so it came to £16.55 altogether, which is amazing when you think that pair of earrings alone, I should probably be able to sell those for at least £10 just for that one pair. So to say I got this huge collection, I think I did really, really good. And some of it I am going to keep. I'm going to add some to my own jewellery collection because there's a couple of pieces in there that I really like. And then the rest I'm going to pop on either eBay or onto my new website, which is coming together nicely in the background. And that's going to be full of vintage jewellery and my handmade jewellery. So yeah, let's have a look at some other pieces. Some pieces are kind of, the colours are a bit more intense than others. So these have got the New Zealand name on, so the Maori name of Power Shell. There we go. So if I hold those up, the blues are absolutely stunning. If I turn them there, you can just see them catching the light. They're amazing. So they're very deep blue. And that's a beautiful, simple drop design. They'd probably go with anything. Absolutely gorgeous. This one is a typical holiday souvenir piece. So this is an older vintage piece. There we go. It's got this nice scroll design in silver. This will be alpaca silver. It won't be sterling 925. This will probably have some nickel content, and it'll be a lower grade silver. But still very pretty. This is tiny, so I think this is probably a child's bracelet. But if I hold that up, you can see, look at those colours. And it does look like the ocean, doesn't it? With the blues and the purples and the swirls inside. Absolutely stunning. Amazing. And I'm just going to count up how many pieces I managed to get. So I just had a quick count, and there was 32 pieces of jewellery in that lot, which is amazing for £13.05. Now these I thought were one single pair of earrings, but they're actually not. They're two different pieces. So I guess if you had two holes in your earlobe, you could wear these at the same time. But if I hold them up, I think they are made to have a bit of a layered effect. So the top one's like an upside down heart, and then the one underneath is heart shaped. So you could wear both pairs at the same time, or you could wear them separately. They're absolutely gorgeous. And it actually has the original tag on the back there. So these were originally £12.99 and then £6.49 in a sale. And these are by Visconti, which I've not heard of before. And these kind of remind me of the bottom of a mermaid's tail as well. Super cute. So yeah, I might actually be wearing those for a little while. I'll show you another couple of pieces close up. So this is really pretty. This has got a Celtic design. There we go. So that's a pendant. But look at those. That's got some really nice pale pink inside that one. These are, they've got LC on the back, so I think that's Liz Claiborne. So a bit more modern. Look at those. They're absolutely huge. We've got beautiful greens and blues. And again, a little bit of pink in there as well, which is amazing. These are a little bit too heavy for me. I don't think I could wear these for very long. Yeah, if you're only going out for an hour or so, you could maybe get away with wearing them and them not hurting you too much, but they are quite a heavy piece. So they make an amazing gift for anybody that's kind of, into the ocean, the sea, diving, swimming, that kind of thing. Anybody that loves jewellery that's made from natural materials, sustainable materials. Buying vintage is obviously a more sustainable option anyway, because you are buying something that's already in the world, and you're giving it a new lease of life, which is awesome. And like I say, most of the abalone shell actually comes from a waste product, so the shells that are discarded once the meat has been taken, the mollusk has been taken from the inside. So again, that makes it more sustainable. Not actually growing them for the shells, they're growing them for the meat inside as a food product. So I think that's really awesome. I'm always drawn to things that have got natural materials in them. I think you can't beat gemstones and shells and things that every time you look at them you see something different, like the colours, the flashes of the colours, the shapes, the iridescence, and no two pieces are alike as well, because it is a natural material. So as always, I'll do a close-up of everything. I did do a little hover around at the beginning, but I'll do a close-up so that you can see all the beautiful pieces and all the stunning colours. Hopefully you've learnt a little bit about abalone shell today. I am going to be putting a blog post together, and that'll go on the website, so please feel free to pop over and check that out. I have a lot more detail in there, and you can find out more about the mystical and spiritual properties of abalone shell, which is a side of things that really interests me. And as always, I shall catch you on the next one.